This is Ruffin Prentiss. I play Marcus Holloway, and I'm just be here with you all today. Let's have some fun. I'm looking forward to the questions and chatting.
Woo!
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Shawn Baichoo. I play Wrench. I'm super stoked to be here, and happy birthday, Watch Dogs 2. 1 year today.
Woo! Hey, guys. Jonathan Dubsky here. I play Josh. I like this chat. I like people. I like to talk and listen, and I look forward to doing all of those things today with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, Watch Dogs 2!
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My only goal today, by the way, is just to make Ruffin laugh as much as possible. Just
It does have a good laugh in the game.
Oh, absolutely. It's an amazing laugh.
Cornhole.
Guys, my Discord is zoomed out to maximum. I can't see anything. The type is so small.
You know, I can't see you guys either. Let me turn the light on.
Oh, hi, David. David.
Yeah, we thought about doing a video chat as well, but then I find text chat or voice chat more comfortable.
We're sure getting a lot of requests for cornholing.
Oh.
I believe that's your domain there, Jonathan.
Where is this? Where do I read what is happening in
the main stage? Text chat is right above the main stage voice chat,
and people are just screaming in all caps. But I can barely see it because I've zoomed out my Discord to.
Oh wait, is this it? Is this it? Hold on.
In voice chat.
And Palmer Grapples.
Yep, that's you, Johnny. You're there.
Delicious Palmer Grapple.
I can't scroll down fast enough. Why does it?
Just hit escape.
If you hit escape, yeah, it'll jump to the bottom.
I'm just letting it scroll. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Hey. Oh, someone's got a beautiful dog as their avatar.
Yeah, is that a MrWasdennnoch?
MrWasdennnoch.
Yeah, we have
sounds like an evil, like I'm MrWasdennnoch. Fantastic name.
He's got on 2 party hats. He's ready.
Isn't that just, what's his name? Dodge? How do you pronounce it?
I think it's dog.
Fun, we're all here. Everything's exciting. Holy shit!
Everything is exciting.
Thank you,
constantly.
Machine.
I gotta zoom in my Discord. I can't see anything.
Just deal with it, Hotfox. It's completely fine.
But my glasses.
Just go with it. There's nothing we can do anymore.
Even with my glasses.
Absolutely nothing we can do to just fix this.
Everything is fine. Totally okay with the circumstances right now.
Oh, we got David listening around.
What is that? Oh, the internet is made for these little pictures right here.
David, I'm sorry if you're listening. The cake was spoiled for you by the community.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you ready for the first question?
Ooh.
I'm sure they're ready.
Let's
That's
do it.
a lot of pressure, but yes.
Okay, so the first question comes from Vivian. You guys know her already.
Yeah.
Vivian,
Hell
say
yeah.
hi. Use push talk.
Our girl.
You guys.
Hey, yeah, we can hear you. Sort of.
Sorry, I'm like push to talk. I'll change that.
No. That's how we.
No, it's kind of enforced at the moment, just so we don't get people crazily talking over each other.
Yeah, you'd hear me sneezing constantly. It'd be really bad.
All right. Okay, so in one of Shawn's interviews, he talked about creating his own backstory for Wrench's limp. So this is a question for everyone, and sorry about the beeping in the back. Are there certain aspects of your character's personality or things that they do that you have created a backstory for?
You mean apart from me?
Well, if you have another one.
Well, one aspect of Wrench that I kind of changed my mind, not changed my mind, but kind of settled on a choice for after the fact is the more I saw him without his mask and a lot of artwork and fan art, the less I think it's a bruise from being knocked around by the FBI when he gets arrested. And I think it's an actual birthmark that he has. And that's probably part of the reason why he wears the mask, because he was probably ridiculed for it often in life growing up. So it's one of his other reasons for hiding.
I mean, hey, this is Ruffin. Marcus, I feel like we had to do our own backstory work. One of the big things for me was figuring out where he was before this moment. And I just saw the comment, "Ruffin is a muffin." It's so true. I'm soft and I'm very kind. People love. I will take the compliment. Ruffin is a muffin. I also see Ruffin is a puffin. These comments are happening so fast. Okay, back to
It's fine. Just
I can personally vouch for Ruffin's muffins. They're very tasty.
Thank you so.
Funny. I haven't had his muffins yet.
You wait, buddy.
So I am special. I knew it.
But yeah, no, we had to do some backstory work. For Marcus, I really was trying to figure out what was the thing that happened with CTOS that pissed him off, that wanted to make him take down the system. What did he get wrongly accused of? And so I kind of did that work. I did some work where he grew up in a really rough neighborhood, but he kind of he tested into this programming camp. And that's where he first started to learn how to code.
You could say he was roughing it for a while. I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but I just had to.
Yes,
carry on.
And I even had to come up with like backstory with my relationship with Miranda in the game. We decided that Miranda was friends with my parents and was around before in DedSec, before I became a hacker. Miranda was somebody, and like to see Miranda in this position now of political power, it becomes a tug of war between whether I can trust her or because of our past. Like she used to help raise me, and now she's somebody on the other side. So yeah, we had to come up with a lot of backstory on which missions we were shooting, or just in the general scope of the entire script of the game.
Awesome, that's rad.
Yeah, for Josh, I mean, a lot of the work for me started before the backstory, was just trying to do as much research as I could into autism, into Asperger's, just drawing on my own personal experiences, as well as reading articles, books, watching videos, meeting people, as well as one of the writers, Ethan. He has a son who's Asperger's, so he was able to really help me kind of do the homework necessary to kind of figure out Josh. In terms of the backstory, I approached Josh a little bit differently than I normally approach a role, where, instead of going for a specific backstory, it was more of, what does the world feel like to Josh? Like, what does it feel like to be alive, to be in this person's skin, in these environments, which are both sometimes nurturing and sometimes very scary. And I think for me, really finding the core of what it meant to experience that and just live through that was a lot of the work that I did. Now, in terms of just specific backstory stuff, most of the relevancy I put on my relationship with the other members of DedSec. I always approached Josh, and I think everyone knows this, and I mean everyone in DedSec knows this, but I played Josh. He was in love with Satara, and Satara was kind of like that mother figure that he lacked in his life, that he really connected to. So it's kind of like a paternal love, but maternal love, paternal love, however you want to say it. But I mean, that's really where most of the work came from. And then afterwards, just working with the group, seeing what the energy and the chemistry was like within the group, and letting that create life, and just going along with that to see what would happen.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, so well, Vivian has something she wants to show you guys. It has audio and it's very special, and she's gonna say a little about it now.
Yeah, stage this. Stage this, Vivian.
If she can get her voice chat working.
Yeah, the link for it is already on the chat, so you can just click it in.
On the main stage chat?
You can post it in UB Lounge too, so it's easy to find.
Yeah, it's scrolling so fast I can't find it. Okay.
Oh my god, I know what this is.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Damn, I forgot to enable the song.
Lemons, you troll life.
Oh no, I'm watching it right now.
Oh, is it the Google Drive?
Yeah.
One apparently, yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Are we hitting play at the same time, or just not?
I mean, I'm watching it already, so just try, I guess.
Alright.
Oh god, yeah.
Hey, where are those hands going, Wrench? Wrench?
Vivian.
Wrench? Okay, good.
Oh, Vivian, that is the greatest thing ever.
This is amazing. Who's the camera operator? It's really nice.
Oh wow, yeah. Nice animation.
That was awesome.
That's amazing. And then we're all filming.
That was awesome.
Oh, it was incredible! I want it. Where can we see it again and again and again forever?
Just keep that link. It'll be in the UB Lounge for now, but feel free to copy and paste it.
There's no way to download
It's a good thing it's push to talk, because you would have just heard me screaming for the last minute and a half. That's amazing! This is so great. Oh my god. No, you don't understand. Look, when we recorded that, I was convinced we were going to animate it and put it somewhere in the game as an Easter egg or in DLC, and they never did. They just released the video, and I was really disappointed. So this is the closest we'll ever come to them animating. Better, actually, because it's fan-made. So I am super fucking stoked about this. This is amazing.
You guys did this!
How long did it take you to do this? My god!
Vivian, do you want to tell them? Her microphone has some issues, so she asked me to tell you guys that she's really thankful that you could watch it right now and react to it. And if I'm not mistaken, it took about 5 months.
Wow! Jeez, holy moly.
That's
something like that.
Amazing.
Great Lemony Snicket, that is incredible.
Lemony Snicket, that's great. Can this be downloaded? Because I absolutely need a copy of this.
Yes, please. But I want to download it first before that idiot.
No!
You can have the drive, I think.
Me first!
Well, it's on a Google Drive link, so I'm sure we can make sure we can send that on and allow you to download that later on, yeah.
That's amazing.
I want to share the shit out of this.
I think I'm going to buy one of those electronic little picture frames that plays like a video on loop and just stick that somewhere in my apartment.
Oh wait, guys, can you hear me?
Yes!
Yes! I got it! Okay, I'm sorry.
You have a voice!
I'm so sorry.
Vivian, amazing work. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say.
I'm
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
kind of
amazing.
speechless, but I just wanted to thank you guys for doing such an amazing job on this game and for bringing the characters to life, and you guys are awesome. And I had been planning this for a year, so...
This is so cool! This is so cool!
I'm so touched by this. Like, the effort The artistry that went into this, just amazing.
Yeah, but based on the video, Wrench, it looks like Ruffin got a little more touch than you, but I see where you were going with that.
I'm glad you guys like it.
It's awesome.
No, I don't like it. I love it.
It's amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Man.
You know, I keep saying that, and I know I sound like a broken record here, or I guess a broken MP3 player, because broken records are old, but it's the fans, to me, that made this experience what it is. Like, the game's great, and the cast is great, and the crew is great, but to see how invested the fans are, to me, is just the greatest possible reward from this experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of fans, we have a question from Bunny. If she's there.
Hi, Bunny.
Bunny.
Hello. Oh, don't be
Hi, Dobby. Nice to meet you, Bunny.
Hey. I'm a huge fan.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Sure.
How do we do that?
Yeah, how do we do that?
He likes paddling more, but
Sure. Let me just find you here. Forgive my noobishness.
Shawn, it's okay. I have a hard time with this program too. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much for saying that. Oh. I don't know if my heart can take much of this.
Same here, man.
Like,
these are the sweetest people in the world.
Man. It's gonna make me all choked up.
yeah, I have to say, being part of this community every day, there's something that usually gets to me that somebody posts, and that's why I love it. That's why I keep coming back, and that's why I have good people here who help run it. So I'm glad that you guys could be here and make everybody's day, because this is a special day for all of us.
Well, hey, man, we got to thank you for providing us a venue for this. You know, I mean, as it's becoming painfully obvious, I'm not very well versed in this kind of thing, but I love interacting and talking with the fans. So thanks for providing the opportunity.
There's so much love in here. Thank you so much.
Ruffin, can you grab me a Kleenex, please?
Coming your way. I've got you.
And thank you, Bunny, for that. You are
Bunny
awesome.
has a comic she wants to show you guys, if that's okay.
Of course, yes, please.
Yeah, I just asked her to the link or something.
Post it in fan art.
Works for
Do
me.
it!
Okay, fan art is fan art chat.
Yes.
Indeed.
There you go, Jonathan. See, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Yes, quite good.
Guys, please don't spam, like, between her messages. Let her post it. Please. Thank you.
It's not if you add man to the end.
That is so
awesome.
wrench. Great job.
Oh.
Thanks for sharing that.
Awesome.
Once again, Marcus is embarrassed. Chalk another win up the wrench.
That is awesome.
Okay,
Really nice work, Bunny.
So next up we have a question from Nate. I think she should be able to talk now. If she's there and ready.
Yep, she's here.
You've always been able to talk.
It's push to talk, so you may have to press whatever key you've configured.
Hello, is this working?
Hello, it is.
Oh, great. Sorry,
Hello.
I had some issues. Hi. It's really nice to hear you all, and I'm so nervous like Bunny, but maybe not as much as she, but oh well, I'm shaking so much.
Okay, I'm a little nervous too, I'm not gonna lie.
From the first, I wanted to say thank you for being a big part of the game. I really loved it, and oh my god, this is like the best thing I could ever imagine. Okay, going to the question. This may be really random, but it's a question to everyone. Do you prefer dogs or cats?
Dog.
Dog
Sorry,
always.
I should have taken more time to sound like it was a tougher decision.
I'm a dyed-in-the-wool dog person.
I'm gonna say
I got a dog for the first time ever. Well, I used to have a dog with my family, but my own dog, I got her about a year and a half ago, and she's amazing. I post her on Twitter all the time. I can't help it.
In the club because we're all watchdogs. Dog guy as well.
Even though Wrench hates puppies, that's where him and I differ.
What's up with that, Wrench? What's up with that?
I don't think Wrench actually hates puppies. I think he says something. It's something he says because he likes to, push people's buttons and rock the boat and cause shit. Who hates puppies? Come on.
I love puppies. I have both, though. I've got a dog and a cat. And, I don't know. It's just, the cat is, it's not a dog.
It's a very astute observation.
Yeah.
I actually loved the first game so much that I named our new dog Clara.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the first game. She happens to have all black coat with patches of white, like kind of Clara has the black and white punk skunk hair.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I just had to name her Clara.
How long did it take you to name your dog, Shawn?
She was already named when we got her because she was a rescue.
Okay, you kept it. Yeah, we rescued Mocha, our cat, and I desperately wanted to give whatever animal we were going to rescue like the most incredible name, like something long and really hard to say, like Gandalf the Grey, or like the Doctor, but yeah, and it didn't swing for it, so we had to compromise.
I would have wanted to name my dog Dormammu.
Dormammu would have been fantastic, I'm not going to lie.
Dormy for short? It works, man.
I'm going to go with Gandalf the Grey Doctor. I like that. Gandalf the Grey Doctor Who.
Bit long, but yeah, that works.
Or Billy for short.
I love
Gandalf the Greyhound.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who is amazing.
I can't wait for the female Doctor.
Oh, I know! I'm so excited! The thing about sci-fi that's really incredible, and a lot of people who aren't into sci-fi don't really get, it's stories about humans. It's stories about morals and ethics. And sci-fi is just the backdrop.
Yeah, kind of like old Star Trek.
Oh, absolutely. We just marathoned through Next Generation recently. Started watching the new Discovery I really enjoy as well. It just doesn't quite have that same charm, I guess, as the older Star Treks, but as anything does, it evolves.
Yeah, I kind of feel Orville hits more.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, I really enjoy Orville.
Yeah, Orville's my jam now.
Yeah, dude, I would love to work on that. That would be sweaty meat. I don't know what that means.
What the hell does that mean?
Sweaty meat.
See, Shawn, sometimes you just got to say what's on your mind and not think about it.
Sends a meme in the making.
That's some sweaty meme.
Somebody's probably working on that meme right now.
Off the cuff,
Probably.
totally natural.
You guys ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is masked. He's called Precious Punk right now here. Where are you? Zach?
He's good to,
okay.
It's Jamie, and he's good to talk.
Oh, wait. Wasn't it? Wait.
Waiting.
You there?
Is he not on push to talk?
Everyone should be on push to talk.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I think I heard something.
Louder!
You can turn up the volume or something.
Just a little bit
Put
more.
the microphone inside your mouth.
It sounds like he's like 2 inches tall.
I'm on my phone, so I'm sorry.
Scream.
Okay, that's a bit better.
Yeah, what?
Okay, I think I have it.
Right click on him and turn his volume up to 200%.
If you can find them in the list of users.
What's the name?
Precious Punk.
Under the P.
Ah, yes. How do we turn the volume up?
Right click and there should be like a bar.
There we go.
that
Use
you
your
can
volume.
drag.
Good.
Okay, I think I have it. Hi.
Hey,
Okay,
what's
that's
up?
better.
Sorry, I'm a little bit shaking because, oh boy.
How's it going, man?
Shaking. Question. I'm sorry. If you guys are like locked in a room with any person, who would that be?
I think I have to turn my sound up a bit.
Can you repeat that?
If you're like locked up in a room with any person, you could choose who will that be from cast.
Okay, so if anyone can't hear that, he's just asked if you're locked in a room with anyone in DedSec, which person would you most want to be locked up with?
Like me, myself, or Josh?
Anyone.
You can answer both.
Well, for Josh, definitely Satara. For myself, man, I don't know. That's.
And I believe she said anybody from the cast. So.
That's such a hard.
That is a tough
hard
question.
to pick one.
Well, Wrench's a no-brainer. He'd want to be locked up with Marcus.
Yeah.
As for me,
That's so hard. Are there any instruments in this room that we're locked in? Can we play music?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, if that's the case, then Shawn, no question. Oh wait, Ren. Wait, damn it! I got this question wrong. I'm already failing.
I think they meant someone who of the DedSec crew, or who from Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can say for sure I would not want to be locked up with Wrench because he would drive me crazy.
I'm just laughing.
That's interesting.
I guess it would be Marcus or Satara for me. No offense, Josh.
No, I think it would be Marcus or I don't know. I think Lenny might be funny as hell, but it wouldn't be great.
She'd get annoying after a while.
After a while.
Would want to be locked in a room with Siska, Jimmy Siska, and then
I'm jealous I didn't think of that.
Would want to be locked in a room with, I want to say Wrench, but I just know after 15 minutes it's downhill.
I'm flattered you give me 15 minutes.
I was going to say, yeah.
I was just going to say 15 seconds.
Still a generous estimate.
Dog seconds.
Ruffin would want to be in a room with T-Bone.
Yeah, you want to talk to T-Bone?
Yeah, I just would want to I always like hearing knowledge from the people that come before us, and I feel like he could just depart so much wisdom.
May get tired of hearing his stories after a while, amigo. Yes, everyone in DedSec does a John Tench T-Bone impersonation. Yeah, where is T-Bone?
I don't
Wish he
know.
was here.
I don't know.
He's probably just fashionably late, as usual. He wasn't there right away in the game, so...
He's going to show up out of nowhere and give us some mushrooms.
Ray?
That's interesting to hear that you all do T-Bone impressions. I'd love to hear them.
Well, I just did mine.
Trying to pull up a script here.
Jonathan just did his. Ruffin?
Jonathan just do one?
Well, see, they're all so good we can't tell who's who.
Shawn does a pretty good Josh.
Shawn does a good everybody.
That's true, damn it.
Stop it, God. Stop it.
Stop it!
The reason why I can do good impersonations of you guys is because you guys give such rich performances. There's so much to draw from. Also, I'm a stalker.
Okay, let's just turn left.
You can see people posting the emotes in chat. We put little party hats on the emotes for today.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
And a lot of people have added hats to their avatars as well.
There's a little extra that he wants to show you guys. Feel free to show the video.
What's that?
I have to warn you guys, though, it's pretty loud, so I will post it in camera. Oh, no.
Lowering my volume now.
Where's this going to come in at?
Where's it going to hit me from?
It's enough in our chat.
I'm sorry for this beforehand.
Oh no! Oh my! Oh my!
Oh, the boom times 4? Yeah, I love that.
Oh no!
Sorry, where's this link?
Oh no, his eyes! Look at his eyes!
Where's this link, guys?
Oh, Shawn, look up. Hey, MrWasdennnoch! Wasdennnoch!
It's called boom times 4. We can post the video.
Okay.
Pay close attention to the emoji eyes later on in the video.
Ants.
That's so good. Oh, God, this is amazing.
Okay, well, that was amazing.
Gotta love this community.
Wrench fully endorses every aspect of that video. Nice work.
Thank you so much. That's really made my day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Nice chatting with you.
Okay, so next question. Do you guys know how to rap?
Hell yeah.
Rap.
Yeah, can you guys do it?
Yeah, that's what are you talking about?
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
so there's someone who's gonna request something from you guys.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I rap all the time. Like, I had to stop rapping to come on.
Where is he?
Just trying to find him. So many users.
Is he up at the top?
Oh, okay, found him. It's the third one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yay.
You had a pumpkin soup?
Sup?
Hey,
What's your favorite kind of soup?
Hey.
What's up?
I just want y'all to like freestyle rap while the other people provide the beat. It's like right here, right now.
Yo, drop it, man.
Will that work with the because when one person talks, can you hear the other person do the beat? Would that work?
Yeah, you can, as long as if you're pushing to talk, or as long as you're all talking, yeah.
Ruffin, you got headphones on, or are you playing through like computer speakers?
I've got headphones on.
Oh, okay, so it should be good.
Someone laying down a beat.
Well, who is starting?
Go, Josh.
Take a second in the house today. Listen up to what we have to say. Be the crew, be the best in the town. Everybody knows San Francisco is going down. Yeah, don't bring the people here. CCOS, we about to kick their ass, man. Yeah.
I can't.
Oh, that was pretty good.
Happened.
Oh wow.
This beat.
Not sure we can follow that.
Oh, I don't even care. I just want to try and fail really hard.
We will have to make a clip of that later.
Oh no. Now that's funny.
All right, we're just looking up for a new question.
Yeah, sorry, we've had quite a few people putting questions and then they're now not online. So just kind of going one by one. Pirinyata BG, are you there? AKA Tervel?
Hey, Bruno.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
So my question is about the cut voice lines in Watch Dogs 2 for Wrench, Sitara, Lenny, and Jordi. Were there any DLCs planned, or it was going to be something like you can meet them randomly walking around the streets and stuff?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question. Are you talking about DLC?
There are unused voice lines for Wrench, Sitara, Jordi and Lenny for petting dogs and stuff like that.
Oh, unused voice lines. You mean like voice that's been recorded but it's not put in the main game, or like in the cinematics? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like you are able to play with that selected character.
Oh, well, I know you can play as Wrench at the end of the game. Beyond that, though, no clue, actually. And Jordi was in one of the DLC, I believe.
Yes, but you can't play as him.
No, you can't play as him, huh? I have no idea, actually. I don't know.
May I give a little help here?
Sure.
He's asking if you guys know, like, if there were plans to be playable characters, like if Wrench was supposed to be a playable character, because there are lines for him like petting dogs. Sitara also has lines like that, and they're in the game, but they're not used. They're just in the files.
Okay, well, Sitara and Wrench are playable in the game at the end, like I said. So it's possible they wanted to expand maybe the scope of what you do with them or use them more. I don't think the plan ever was to have them as main characters that were playable. It was always supposed to be Marcus, as far as I know. But I do know for a fact that Wrench, initially they wanted him to be able to do some parkour, like Marcus, but they couldn't get that data from me because I was injured at the time. I was walking with a limp because I'd hurt my back, and it was part of the character that Wrench had a bit of a motility problem. So it's possible they would have recorded that stuff to use in a larger scope and then maybe switch the focus or the use of it in the game afterwards. Because I know they decided to go in a slightly different direction for Wrench once that was kind of established. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks for cleaning that up.
No problem.
I think we all hoped there'd be more. We definitely would have loved to play even as like Horatio and Josh. It was nice to see Josh as part of some of the DLC missions. But
yeah, he was supposed to be playable. I'm not really sure. I think there must have been something going on the back end, but a lot of stuff was recorded so that Josh was supposed to be able to be playable towards the end of the game, along with the others. But yeah, I don't remember if there was a reason they gave, or I'm not really sure.
Yeah, the way it seemed, I thought they may have had like a separate mission plan for each of the DedSec characters, it would seem. But it may have been just cut for time.
I think that actually was the original idea. Like at the end of the game, you'd kind of pick some characters that aren't Marcus to fulfill certain objectives. But I think it was crunch time, and there was just too much for them to get done. So they kind of cut corners a bit and put them in as best they could.
Yeah, you could see that particularly with Sitara's mission. They kind of restricted her to the rooftops for that mission, but people in the community had figured out how to get her down safely to the ground and interact with NPCs.
Oh shit! Really?
Do all the
I did not know that.
Stuff. And you can see there, like I remember one thing, because I've done this myself on the live stream, and you were able to take her into like say one of the bars and grab a drink, and her character model was just shorter and smaller than the other character, so the drink would be like floating above her hand, and she'd put it into her forehead to drink it. And so I think it's those kind of technical things they didn't have time to finish up to actually expand and do like a full.
Actually, that was real. Tassia would cause the glass to levitate in front of her hand and then bury it in her forehead, and they just captured it as is. That's actually not a glitch.
That was her whole audition tape. That's how she.
Yeah, it was just her using telekinesis and levitating shit and smashing it into her forehead. It was it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I made a meme of it. Like drinks go right to your head, man.
That's awesome.
Okay, so are we ready for the next question?
Go for it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so this is from Daria, aka Kex Balls. You should be free to speak. You there, Daria? Okay. They're saying it's their first time using the app, so
I feel you.
Trying to figure that out.
Hear you there.
Oh. Okay, maybe move on to the next question and see if they can figure that out. We'll give them some assistance.
I have a request, actually, if you could indulge me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Could we get whoever's coming on to ask questions just to tell us where they're from? Because we're getting a lot of great people from all over the world, and I just kind of would like to get an idea of where people are calling from.
Sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if people just want to put in the text, people who've called already, where they're from, that's cool. South Carolina, Ireland, Asia, France,
first
La
pet
France,
name,
Germany,
mother's maiden name.
Texas. Oh my God, this is amazing. Sweden, Bulgaria, Netherlands, Montreal, represent. Netherlands.
Wow.
Russia.
Jersey.
New Jersey.
Poland.
Australia?
Czech Republic, yeah, my grandmother's Czech.
Hey, puis vive le Québec libre, Carlis! That's what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. Louisiana, Kentucky. Yeah.
Louisiana,
Got your back, rock and roller.
Mars!
The North Pole.
So yeah, we can move on to another caller now. Someone's ready.
Yeah, sure. Okay. We'll try and help Kex Balls in a moment. Let's get on to
England,
a question from Bacon. Let's just get him talking.
I visited
Bacon?
London about
My mom's last name.
12 years ago.
I'm making bacon right now as we speak.
Are you? Sir Francis Bacon.
Bacon has permission to speak.
You have permission to sizzle, my friend.
Does he have push to talk on?
Are you on
I'm
medium to
hungry.
high heat? Are you maple drizzled?
Do you want to type your question?
There we go. I think he's figuring out it's push to talk.
It's all just coming to him.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's set himself to mute.
See, not only you guys have problems figuring out Discord, even us Discord users have trouble sometimes.
To be fair, it is called Discord, so.
Good point.
True.
Liack, that's funny.
Okay, he's now showing he's able to talk. You there, Bacon?
Well, he just completely left, so.
Okay.
Oh well.
Take that as a no.
We can come back to him. Oh.
Okay. I think Kex Balls should now be able to talk. I think he's figured out push to talk. Are you there, Kex Balls?
He goofed.
Yeah, you have to press the button while you talk.
Hold it down, yes.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
It's a trap.
It's a trap!
Okay, Bacon, are you there? Second time.
Viva Las Bacon.
Good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking when we run into these issues or lag time of people waiting to figure out their connections, we could always ask a text question that users have submitted.
Yes, we can. There's some people who've been unable to be online. Let's see. There was a question from a user, I think Aki. I'll just find that out. Yeah,
Okay, moms, you have a request.
Aki has
I love
asked,
you.
what was your favorite moment in the story for your character?
Who wants to start? I'm
Favorite
guessing that's for the whole cast, right?
Yes, it's for everyone.
I'll go. So for me, my favorite scene was when Marcus gives Wrench his mask back. I just thought it was a really nice moment. It showed a lot about who Wrench was. It was nice to see him vulnerable because he spends the whole game being funny and, you know, doing his thing, which is great. But that can be a little one note at times. So it was nice to have a scene where we could see another side of him. And it was a pretty challenging scene, too, from an acting perspective. But we had a really, really great director, Jean-Francois, and Ruffin was terrific to work with, as always. So that's definitely my favorite scene, is when he hands him the mask and, the wrench decides to get back into it.
It was a great scene to shoot.
Yeah, I'm still thinking.
Actually, and I will add one. Jerry just pointed out the exchange between Wrench, Marcus, and T-Bone about cutting someone's hand off and blowing up Wrench Jr. That's probably my second favorite scene. I loved that scene. It took us quite a while to get there because it was a lot of work. But again, GF brought the best out of us. John was fucking amazing. He's so great to work with. And, Ruffin solid, as always. So, that's probably my second favorite scene.
I really liked when we all did shrooms together. Because we actually, did we shoot that pretty early on? No, we shot the beginning early on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they generally start with stuff that's later on first, right? And then,
so did we shoot the shroom scene first?
That was one of the earliest things I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's right.
I enjoyed doing that because it was where we got to see how our characters really interact with each other, which was really awesome. And we got to play and figure out it just deeper into the relationships between the characters. And my other scene was when Horatio died.
Oh yeah, that was rough to shoot.
But yeah, that was very emotional, but I loved having chances to do some deep work in the game.
Oh, totally, dude. And especially just you guys being who you guys are to me, and I'm sure for you guys as well. It just made it all that much more.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I mean, the scenes became more fun. Like you're constantly learning who your character is with every day that you do it, and you never quite figure it out. It's always kind of an adventure of discovery. So for Josh, I mean, the further in we got, the more interesting I found Josh, and the more things I discovered. So some of the, I think, more interesting scenes for me were definitely the heavier ones. I think when Lenny infiltrates DedSec with that annoying cat sound video thing. Just getting to explore what anger feels like for Josh, and what it meant to have the support of the group, and how it made me feel to have these people around me in the midst of my own crisis. That was, for Josh, it's something that greatly affects him, the ability to completely lose control of something that is so part of him. It's a very scary and terrifying thing. I also really, really enjoyed shooting a lot of the scenes that I had nothing to do except be in the background for, which happens once in a while. You're just kind of sitting in the background and just doing your own thing, or busying yourself in the world of your character.
Please tell them about the campfire and the can and my.
Oh yeah! So at the beginning of the game, when you're introduced to Marcus's character and you're on the beach and you meet Dushan. In the background, when Dushan runs by and talks to Marcus, in the background, a bunch of us are around the campfire, and in one of the takes in particular, Wrench had finished his drink, and he was asking me to pass him another one. And in the volume, we have these objects that we interact with, so that the animators can track the motion, right? The
volume, for those who don't know, is where we do the mocap.
Yeah, exactly. The studio, the stage where we do our thing. So I passed him one of these. I would say these things are about a pound?
Something like that, like a full can.
Like a full can of Coke, yeah. And then I tossed it. I lobbed it perfectly so it landed right between his jewels.
Right in the crotch.
And the work that ensued, I would have to say, I mean, Shawn's a great actor, but I think I saw arguably the best performance of his life right there that day.
I was actually laughing more than anything else. We actually
it was
got up.
nothing but in the moment, though. It was wonderful.
We actually got up after that take, went to the computer banks where the technicians are, and I said, "Guys, the last take, you have to keep it because there's some gold. Gold, I tell you." I don't know. I don't think it actually made it into the game though. That's why Wrench has a limp. Yes, exactly.
That would do it.
So you guys ready for another question?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I think Bacon is available now. Take it away, Bacon.
This thing on?
Hey, Bacon, what's up?
Gotcha.
What's up, Bacon? Where are you calling from?
I'm from the UK. So I'm feeling a little bit anxious.
That's okay.
No worries. Take your time, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, make yourself a smoothie or something.
I wish I could, but I don't know how to.
Well, we can get there when we get there.
Anyway, to my question. So since you guys were just talking about motion capture, what was it like doing motion capture? Because I've seen it and it looks kind of weird. Like, do you have to do like multiple shots of like the same scene or something, or do you have to do like, I don't know, like, or can you have like one take of each scene? And thanks and thanks, chat. You guys are cool. Thanks.
You're cool too, Bacon.
Thanks for the question, man. It really depends on what we're shooting and how complicated the scene is. On average, we do maybe 2-3 takes, a bit more if it's complicated or very involved. It is a bit weird when you first start doing mocap for most actors because it's a bit of a new technology that people aren't familiar with. It's not film, it's not theater, it's kind of this hybrid thing that exists between the two. But once you get used to it, I love it. I think it's far more natural than camera or stage acting for me. You kind of forget about the suit and about everything, and you just use your imagination and kind of create your environment and interact with people. And it's really freeing to do motion capture work because there's no camera. I mean, well, there's 64 cameras actually, but there's no film camera. So you don't have to worry about, hitting your mark or turning towards the audience or the camera or the lens because there is none. So it's really freeing, and I personally love it. It's my favorite form of performance, more than film and more than stage. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm personally a huge fan of it, and the technology keeps evolving over time as well. So it's getting more and more detailed and easier to use too. Back in the day when we first started, the helmets used to give us headaches, and there's a lot of cables everywhere for us to trip on, but the things have really streamlined in recent years. So there you go.
I think Shawn answered that pretty well. I mean, this was my first motion capture experience. I think it's the perfect blend between like theater and television because, as Shawn said, you don't have to play to a camera, television, but at the same time, you get the freedom of movement that you have in theater. And you get the imagination that you have in theater. On a real set, or they've built something like they've built an actual room, but here, we've got props, we have prop couches, but it's not an actual couch. And so in such a wonderful way. And vets like Shawn is so knowledgeable when it comes to working in motion capture. So I could come to him if I had any questions on how to improve my performance. I just really lucked up with the cast that I had around me.
Okay, so we're going to try again from Kexballs. Third time lucky. Can you speak there?
Amen, Kex.
No. Any luck? No, apparently not.
And people having trouble, feel free to ask your question in the main stage.
Yeah, well, we have a
Well.
question from the Gamer Tiers. I'll just put him on.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh my gosh. It's redundant, but I am also very nervous because the fact that I didn't think I was actually going to get a chance to actually ask a question. So, and
Hey, what's
also,
up, man?
yeah, hey, also, because the question, the whole, where am I talking from? Indiana, in the good old U.S.
Awesome.
So, my question, and I mean, you kind of had part of it you answered when you were talking about the different scenes you guys had to record and all that, but, I was just kind of like, in general for you guys, what was like the funniest, like, bit or scene for you to record when you were making the game, whether it be with anyone when you were making it?
Funnest. Yeah, I guess that's different. Like the other one was like, I answered the previous question about Josh maybe going through like what was the most interesting in terms of acting, but the most fun for me was probably a lot of the interactions I had with Wrench. Anytime we had an ability to just push each other's buttons, or mostly his pushing my buttons, it was always a good time. As well as, I don't think it ever made it into the game, but there was a scene that we recorded on Ruffin. It was with you. We were on a rooftop. And you remember? And like Josh was starting to pick up on like Ruffin's lingo and like use it back at him. And I just remember Ruffin looked at me and he said something and he's like, "Okay, Josh, aight." And I just turned around to him and I said, "Aight." And he just looks at me and gives me the biggest fucking smile.
I think one of the scenes I had the most trouble staying serious for was, I think it's a DLC scene. Ruffin, you can correct me here if I'm wrong, but it's when we're on the rooftop and you're like, "Yo, Marky Mark," and Ruffin's like, "Oh, don't call me that." And then I'm like, "Marcus, I want to show you something." And it's my laptop, but it gets all kind of weirdly uncomfortable, as Wrench likes to do. And most of that was improvised and written by us. So it is a DLC, yeah. So I absolutely loved that scene. And I was a little shocked it made it into the game because I thought Ruffin and I were pushing the envelope a bit. But
no, that hit the tone right on the button.
But I think it's a nice little capsule of who Wrench and Marcus are in that scene. And my second favorite comedic bits are anything where, sometimes subtle, but anytime Wrench is with Josh in the background, he's always either invading Josh's space, touching his face, closing the door on him when he's in the car.
Felt constant poking and prodding.
Yeah, it just never lets up, right? And that's something that's interesting about Wrench that I realized when we were shooting this is he had his own way of annoying different people in the cast, right? Ruffin, it was this weird, like, homoerotic thing. Josh was getting into his physical space. T-Bone was kind of more directly butting heads over, decision making and stuff. But he doesn't do it with Sitara, if you noticed. So with Sitara, he's just straight up with her and he doesn't push her buttons. Probably because he doesn't want to piss her off. She's a little scary at times.
Oh, and the scene with Lenny and Marcus.
I think for me, Josh, that scene where you were in the porta potty.
Oh, that was the first thing we shot together.
Oh my gosh, that scene was funny.
That was a lot of fun, man. Wow, that was my very first scene, very first day of performance capture. I think you had already had a couple because you were there a little bit earlier than us, maybe.
Yeah. And then anytime I got to geek out with Shawn, with Wrench, about Jimmy Siska, like we would.
Oh yeah.
Like the scene where we get to watch the Cyber Driver trailer, like we were so excited. Everybody, shut up! Shut the fuck up! Just so much fun to ad lib off each other and have. There just were so many moments that the chemistry between the characters and us as castmates, I feel like was just genuine, and we truly hope it came through.
There's also that scene where Wrench and Marcus geek out over the whole Siska situation that Sitara wants to use to our advantage, and I'm talking about like my lunchbox. I got a mint one, you know, and you're saying, you can pop your collar, Siska style. That too, like we got to improv a lot because we were helped by having a really good script that was tailored to us because the writers knew us and knew our, you know, geeky sensibilities. And then you and I, Marcus, really connected over the geek sides we have in real life and how they measure up the game with their characters. So that was just a really happy coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, I really, sorry, I wanted to comment back on what you guys have been saying. That I really like that the scene from the DLC when you with the whole rooftop scene and Wrench and Marcus. I got a real kick out of that. Honestly, I think I love that a lot.
And honorable mention to the Alien versus Predator chats as well. Or anytime I got to talk like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. In between.
Get to the chopper!
Hey, Shawn, what are you going to do with that?
You can't hear what you're saying. Stop it.
Well, I'm trying to talk in my mic over here, but it's getting a little bit far from my face.
Telling you, you're unintelligible.
I can't understand you, Stallone.
Okay, so you guys ready to try again with Kexballs? We're going to give him one last chance, but we've got his question written down so we can read it out. Kexballs, are you there?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hey!
Yes, finally.
Kexballs, at long last.
I'm so sorry for that inconvenience, guys. First of all, I'm really glad that I'm finally able to talk to you. I'm from Moscow, and it's past midnight right now, but I'm still with you.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you guys so much for making this possible for all the fans. It's really an incredible opportunity for people like me who are living so far away from Canada and I'm not able to come to visit any conventions you are attending. So it's really cool to finally be able to hear you.
Well, that goes both ways. It's cool for us to hear from all our fans. And you guys are the best.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm also a little bit nervous, but I will ask you my question anyway. To be honest, recently I was playing newest Assassin's Creed Origins, and I spotted a little Aiden Pierce Easter egg there. I hope it's not a spoiler because others from the Discord chat would love to know that Aiden made an appearance in Assassin's Creed.
This is the newest one, right?
Yeah, the newest one in Egypt. And I just wanted to ask you, who would you guys love to see in the future Watch Dogs game, in the sequels, or in other UB games? Because Aiden already made it to Watch Dogs 2 and to the Assassin's Creed even. And we also saw Jordy and T-Bone. So maybe some characters from Watch Dogs 2, will they appear, and how you see that, and do you want to see them and to act as them once again? So that's my question. I hope you understand it.
Great question. I would love to see more crossover between Ubisoft properties, personally. When I first heard about the first Watch Dogs games, I was convinced it was the next Assassin's Creed, or that it tied into it, or that they would be in the same world. Now, I learned recently that they are, in fact, in the same universe, because there's a reference to Abstergo, I think, in Watch Dogs 2 at some point, or something. There's some crossover that's mentioned in some archive somewhere. I don't know where you would look for that, but I know that's a fact. For my part, I would absolutely love to play Wrench again in any way, shape, or form. I just love playing him so much, and I miss playing him. But I would love to do that in the context of having Ruffin and or John or Tassia in any combination, because I love playing Wrench, but I think he's at his best when he's with some of the members of DedSec. So that's my 2 cents. And a little Easter egg for you. If you're playing Assassin's Creed Origins, I play a character in Assassin's Creed. or it didn't. I just don't know if I should give it away because people have been trying to guess and no one's.
Name your wrench.
Yes, I play Wrench in Assassin's Creed Origins. Yes.
Oh my god, that's amazing. That's a really unexpected answer, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, any reason to get in the room again with these guys is I think I speak for everyone on the team who would be happy to come back and reprise their roles and continue the story and adventure together.
Sure, I would love to see us in a new city, traveling all over the world. That cell of DedSec going to help other cells of DedSec or something. You know, I would love to see that.
I feel like there's a lot more. I mean, Watch Dogs 1 was very much Aiden Pierce, right, focused, whereas you got a bigger group with the second one, and there's so much about the characters, more so than just the 5 main DedSec group, but there's so many more characters I'd be interested in exploring, their lives, their storylines, more DLCs. I don't know, there's just a lot more going on that interests me.
I mean, look, people don't really tell us. Actually, people don't tell us at Ubisoft what's going on or what their plans are. They're very secretive. And if we did know, we wouldn't be able to talk about it anyway. Yeah, but
true.
I think I can say that, Watch Dogs 2 was popular enough, and enough of that popularity was due to the fact that DedSec was such a great, diverse cast that got along well. So there's definitely value there that can be mined further. Whether they will or not, who knows? We can hope they will. But, if you think about it, T-Bone was a bit of a standout character, and then the DLC was about him. And then they, put him into Watch Dogs 2 because the fans loved him and kind of demanded, or not demanded, but, hoped he'd be back at least. And Ubisoft, they're pretty good at listening to the community. So I'm hopeful because I think that'd be, if I ever got that phone call again, that'd probably be a pretty happy day.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for answering. And yeah, I think T-Bone is, he plays a crucial role throughout the series, and it would be really awesome to hear from him once again. Like he's connecting everyone, connecting Aiden with DedSec. That's really awesome.
It's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your question, and nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have another question from Rule, if he's there. Just put him on. You there, Rule? You may have to turn push to talk on. Nope. Oh, hang on. He's just saying to wait a moment.
We want Rule. We want Rule. Rule.
Come on, I'm here.
Yay!
Yeah, you can do it!
Oh, I'm so excited.
What's up?
How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good,
The
good.
one and only.
I am thrilled to meet you, okay? I love your work. You're one of my favorite fan artists. So,
spectacular work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, your work's just fantastic.
Thank you. Well, my question is, I want to ask you, you guys, okay.
Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from China.
Oh, great.
Okay. So what's the first video game you played in your memory?
Ooh, I like this question.
Ooh.
Very first one I can think about is on the Atari. And there was these mathematical blocks. You had to climb this pyramid and answer basic math questions. Yeah.
I played was Atari as well, and it was ping pong. It just was pong.
What?
Yeah.
Was it in 1990s?
Like early 90s, late 80s.
Early 90s, but it was my father's gaming system. So I wasn't even old enough to have one. I just was, like, played.
Which Atari was it? Do you remember? Was it is there a Commodore? Is that one of them?
Blue, actually. But we still have it at my parents' house.
Atari 2600 was
Commodore
popular.
64.
They made a 5200.
Oh my.
The Commodore 64 was a personal computer system that most people played games on.
That was my first gaming computer. Was a Commodore 64, actually. I'll never forget it. But my first video game experience, if I recall, and I'm going to date myself by saying this, I think was Pong, actually. I remember going to some friends of my parents, with my parents. I was pretty young. I think it was probably in the late 70s, early 80s. And they had this gigantic keyboard-looking thing with two big knobs on it. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And they plug it into the TV, and that whole unit, giant thing, was the game. And I remember playing Pong. You just turn the paddle and knock the ball back and forth. And I remember being floored because it was the coolest thing ever.
Amazing.
What are you playing now, Shawn?
I'm sorry?
What are you playing now these days?
Oh boy. I've fallen head over heels into Elite Dangerous lately, which is a space game, which I'm absolutely crazy about. I'm also playing, so I just started playing Rainbow Six, actually, which is, oh yeah, Bunny, you're a fan. Awesome. Rainbow Six, I started playing that, and I've been playing Killing Floor 2 as well, which was this kind of cool first-person shooter.
Nice.
How about you?
Guys?
What's that?
So what about you?
Oh, yeah. Tell us what you're playing.
Yeah, caller, what's your, what do you play?
Now, Fallout 4.
Ooh, I want to try that in VR.
Really?
I've never played Fallout.
Fallout's a lot of fun.
It's a really good game.
Thanks.
Oh, the number of times I activated God Mode to just get by. New Vegas is the one I started with, yeah. I did like that quite a bit. I'm playing a lot of PUBG these days. It's so hard.
Oh, I want to try that.
It's a wonderful game. It's like, I don't know if you ever played games like Rust or those post-apocalyptic survival zombie type games. It's got an element of survival without the time commitment required.
Yeah, I hear you. I've heard a lot about it. I've seen a lot of gameplay vids about it. It looks pretty cool.
Ruffin, you playing anything? Oh, you're too busy.
I have my sport, but I have just played through for like the third time The Last of Us. I'm a little obsessed with this game.
Ooh, that game is good. Such a good game. It needs to come to PC.
Obsessed with it, man. It is, and every time I find new things. And so I've been playing the difficulty every time I play through, and just seeing what new things I can find.
Oh, that game is so cool.
Cool story. Truly is.
Who showed it to us? Was it JF or Lars?
It was Lars.
Yeah, he showed us the opening sequence, and it's like, wow.
It's ridiculous.
Lars Ulrich, yes, from Metallica. The drummer came by and showed us this really interesting video game, and then he smashed it with his drumsticks.
True story. Yeah, I can't wait for The Last of Us 2, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait.
Did you see the trailer for it, Ruffin?
The trailer's out?
The trailer's out?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty intense, too, man.
Without me, did you?
Come on, man. You know I'd never do that.
Sisters! No, I actually haven't seen the trailer, man.
Look it up, man. When you're done here, it's pretty nice.
Heavy and edge. Legit.
Cyber.
Hey, so you guys ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is Mike Roma, named Michael. Michael?
Hey,
you there?
Michael. Michael, we've been over this as push to talk, my friend.
Come on, guys, you gotta be ready.
You guys sound like seasoned Discord people now. Yeah, it's push to talk. Come on, everybody knows.
Is it working?
There we go.
Yes.
Hey, Mike.
Hi there.
So, Michael.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
Doing great.
So my question is, what was your inspiration for the game, and also, most importantly, what was the inspiration for Pomograpple?
What was that second part?
What was the inspiration for Pomograpple?
That would be a Horatio line. Pomograpple.
Yeah.
From the noodle.
The noodle. Yeah.
Oh, right. Jeez Louise.
I think Pomograpple was actually a scripted thing. The writers were playing on the idea of how these tech companies, especially like Google or something like that, a company like that would want to have the most up-to-date, healthy, genetically modified foods that are good for you. And so they decided to come up with a fruit called a pomegranate. It sounded so fun that the actor Michael Xavier and I, Michael plays Horatio, we just like made a whole bit of it when we got into the lobby of Noodle. And so that's where Pomograpple comes from. And in terms of inspiration for the game, I mean, before the actors come on board, there's been so much development in story and in character. So what really happened, at least from my perspective, is when I was introduced even into the audition, the character is pretty fleshed out, like in terms of personality, fits into the actor's wheelhouse. And when I read Marcus's audition sides, I was just like, person is, I could play this in my sleep. Like I just understood. So a lot of the inspiration came from that. And then the freedom that the creative team gave us to add more. I also did a lot of research on like Anonymous and just the history of hacking in general, just to understand the mindset. And going from like literally, as you see DedSec does in the game, going from trolling and the lulz to hacktivism and using it. And so that's where my inspiration came from, the script itself. Yeah.
As far as Wrench is concerned, the inspiration was kind of handed to me. And what I mean by that is, initially when they first wrote Wrench, for what's called a vertical slice, and that's when you make a small sliver, a small portion of a video game to show the developers, the producers. So, you know, a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of character, a little bit of setting, a little bit of dialogue. So they were shooting a vertical slice. They had written Wrench, and initially it was conceived as this kind of he looked the same, you know, big guy with, you know, a guy with a mask and the emojis, but he was supposed to be this kind of like tough, gruff kind of brawler, tough guy who was, you know, into demolition and blowing stuff up. And the director thought it was a bit of a cliche, that it was kind of a douchey move to make him like that, given what he looked like, because people were expecting him to kind of be a bit of a stereotype. So the director, who had worked with me on the first Watch Dogs and on the DLC Bad Blood, knew that I was, you know, a funny guy with a certain comedic energy, and said, I want you to bring that to Wrench, kind of go against what the writers had intended conceptually. And merging those two things gave for a very unusual kind of character, which isn't what people expected, which I thought worked super well. He even gave me a reference from a character from the show, Mr. Robot, I think. I've never watched it, but there was a character on that show that he wanted me to watch and kind of try to get a bit of an inspiration in terms of his energy, being a motor mouth, all that stuff. So I didn't base it too much on that character, but he was pretty clear with the direction he wanted. And it was always like bigger, go crazy, more energy, talk faster, improvise more, make more jokes, essentially be yourself more. So eventually we found the right level for that once Wrench was in the main game, and the vertical slice got approved and all that. But yeah, that's kind of where Wrench came from.
He's got a gun. Is that a problem?
Inspiration for Josh?
Problems are why you keep me around, right?
Josh, I mean, it's really hard to say. I felt an enormous weight. I found out late in the audition process that they had changed what they originally conceived as Josh from this really loud, playful YouTube personality that would do these, really silly tasks like the Cinnamon Challenge, and he would try to grow a following. It went from that kind of a character to the last round of auditions when they told me that they decided to now make him have Josh have Asperger's. So I didn't have a lot of time for the last round of auditions, but the inspiration really came once I found out I got the job, when I realized I now had this incredible burden of portraying hundreds of thousands, millions of people who are on the spectrum, and I had a responsibility to make sure I went in with as much ammunition as possible. So I did, and that was my inspiration, just knowing I had this incredible task that I couldn't let myself screw up. And that drove me to do everything I needed to do and get all the information I needed to understand Josh's world. And then on top of, working with the crew and figuring out where I lived within DedSec. So working with, Ruffin and Shawn and everyone really kind of sets the tone and gives me a bit of the reality I need in order to live in the space.
Yeah, we had heard that on some of the tours at Ubisoft that I got to do, that Josh was a very different character as the whole hot sauce vibe and all that. It was interesting to see where they went with it and why. So thank you for that, talking about that.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
Okay, so next one is Annabelle.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello.
Bet didn't expect to see a guy's voice coming out of a girl character.
Nothing really surprises me these days.
Pretty much.
Well, first of all, let me just say, I haven't touched any of both games, and the first thing I hear when I come into this actual thing is Asperger's there's actually a character with Asperger's in the game, and being a sufferer of it myself, it's very taboo, and not many people want to talk about mental illness and all of this. And basically, what I just want to say is thank you guys so much for thank you, Louie. Thank you guys so much for bringing awareness to this. I've got actual questions later on, though, but I just wanted to get this off of my chest.
Thank you so much for that, man.
You can ask. It's okay.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man.
All right. Well, first off, as I said, thank you, Kristen. As I said, I haven't touched either of the games. What would you recommend for a new player like me to look out for that the casual fan, that the casual player might not get?
You're saying between the two games, which one would you recommend starting with?
I mean, I'm going to start with one, but what would you... I just love all of this. Side note, this chat is amazing. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Basically,
it's an incredible place.
basically what I'm trying to say is, what should I look for in the games that might be, that casual players might look past?
Oh, I see.
I'd say for the first game, when you say casual player, you mean someone. Well, you mean a casual player. So the first game it's a good game. It was kind of criticized, and I'd say deservedly so, for the driving mechanics, which are not super smooth. So I'd stay away from like the racing mini games or anything that has to do with a mastery of driving, because that can be a little frustrating. And for both games, I'd say take advantage of the game mechanic the game is centered around, which is hacking your environment to get information, to evade pursuit, to distract guards, all that stuff. I mean, you can go in guns blazing and shooting, but I find if you're a casual gamer, shooting mechanics can be a bit more complicated, and frustrating. So yeah, man, I'd just say jump in and have fun, though. They're great games.
All right, gotcha. And second off, I would love, and I believe the chat would love this too, if Josh and Wrench could do a little improv scene for us to commemorate this 1-year anniversary.
Sure, give us, what are the 3 things we need?
Like that, yeah.
Location, DedSec headquarters, let's go, middle of the game-ish, and
This is especially challenging for me, though, because of the lingo required.
And basically whatever the hell else you want to throw in there.
I'm going to have to make up terminology that doesn't exist.
That's the fun of it.
I know. Do it.
Happy anniversary, Josh!
What do you want now?
Can I get a hug?
Oh, don't touch me.
I want 365 hugs, please.
Listen, sit down. I want to show you this on the computer.
Ooh. You have my attention?
If you look at the both binary instructions here, if we don't move over to the calendar year of 2019, then the bisexual ladder of the equilateral triangle to the hypotenuse is going to break us.
You lost me after sit down.
Marcus?
Yo, friend.
Did you get any of that?
Marcus! Happy anniversary, I love you!
I love you too.
Sorry, man. I love you as a general, the royal you, the we. I love us. I love DedSec. Go DedSec. DedSec for life.
Thank you. Back to business. All right, so Josh, what you got for me, man? I heard you say something about a bisexual triangle. Break that down for me.
I was just trying to get Wrench's attention.
Bisexual triangle! 2 of my favorite words, Marcus.
That was awesome.
That was the single best thing I've ever seen.
We will definitely be making a clip of that.
Good job, guys. Good job.
That was incredible.
Thank you guys so much. That was amazing.
You're very welcome. Thank you, man.
I'll be sure to play both games nonstop.
Have fun.
I'm just going to have that scene playing in my head whenever I encounter Wrench, which is, by the way, already my favorite character.
Thanks so much.
Oh, I'm crying of laughter.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So the next one is Jill. Are you there?
Push to talk! Damn it!
There are 2 Jills.
Okay, she's showing us unmuted. You just have to push now. Just push the button and talk. No, that's mute.
Welcome back to How to Push to Talk.
It can be tricky on the different systems. Discord lets you use like Android, iOS.
Oh, they have no mic.
Okay, can you type?
I had no keyboard! How did you do that?
Telepathy.
So she does have a mic, but
Oh, and John, man, can I just say that was pretty dope-ass improv about technical stuff, man.
Oh, I think I can
Respect.
Yeah, I can definitely work in the computer field, I think. I hate computers with a passion.
You realize you're using one right now, right?
I know, but they always break on me, and I don't know what to do.
You got the Jill, don't worry.
When someone told me I should install a liquid cooler for my CPU, I was like, that's ridiculous. That's going to break everything.
But it's so cool.
Well, until I found out that it's not actual liquid, yes, I agree.
And you can add like cool LEDs, like.
I've got one now. I have to. It's sitting on my shelf here. The H60.
Send pictures.
Yeah, I gotta install. I gotta figure out how to do that.
We have a master race chat in the Discord here, all around PCs, because that's how they refer to themselves, the master race.
Where is that?
Oh, you'll see it in the list of chats below.
Everywhere.
Master race, I see.
PC Master Race, yeah.
Okay, Jill, you there now? No.
It's a bisexual binary triangle. Oh, dear Lord, what happened?
Who is it that's trying to connect?
It's Jill.
Okay,
well, your question here is written. It's what's the funniest moment you remember during development?
I think that was someone previously. So I can read you Jill's question.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, that is an old question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hey.
We can.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that wasn't my question. I think that was the other Jill. Sorry, I've never used Discord like talking before, so I'm kind of confused. But
no problem.
Me too.
So yeah, my question was, well, I want to start with, I think you guys are amazing because I've never really been in a fandom where the voice actors are so, what can I say, active towards the fans. So I really appreciate that. And my question is, it's something that's been bothering me for a while. Does Wrench have an actual name, like first and last name?
Not that I know of. I was only ever told his name was The Wrench and not really given any kind of background information as to his real name.
Okay, so I was just wondering if it will ever be released in game, but probably won't then. So my other question is, if he doesn't have a name, what would you name him if you had to pick a name?
Garfield.
Boy.
Alfonso.
Alfonso Garfield the Third. And he talked like that. That's
Regina Phalange.
Without the mask, he talks like that. Hello, I'm Wrench.
I want to hear all your examples, not just from you, if you want.
I think he'd have probably a really mundane name.
Gandalf the Grey, Doctor Who.
You too, actually.
He'd probably have a name like Jason
Bourne.
No. Jason Jones.
Yeah, I also want to mention there's this side mission where they joke about his name being Reginald, but I don't think that's canon, is it?
Side mission where what, sorry?
Nej, men förlåt, men det är några voice actors, kan bara få göra klart det här, snälla. Det är några på nätet, kan bara få göra klart det här. Ja, jag ska. Yes, sorry, what do you say? Hey, sorry, I missed, what do you say?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand your last question.
Yeah. There's this mission in the game where Marcus is about to take down the opposite hacker group that Lenny has, and he removes like data and stuff. And Wrench asks if he saw his real name, and then he jokes that it's Reginald. and I want to ask if that's probably just a joke, right? That's not something that's true, is it?
Oh, that's a good
Reginald.
observation. I forgot about that.
Reginald, I disagree.
I think he could be a Reginald. Reginald Worthington III. There we go. It's canon now.
Garfield.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Reginald Garfield III.
Thanks for making that possible.
Okay, guys. Everyone. Ruffin has something to say right now. So, go ahead.
Hey guys. So I unfortunately have to cut out an hour early. Last night I got an audition and I've got to prep for that today. But I just want to say, like, I hear of pure joy being around all of you. The best fans, the best community in the world and all across the world. And I'm just so grateful and humbled. And the amount of love that we feel, I just can't say how much it means to us. So thank you for this opportunity. We should do this more often.
Yes.
I love you all. DedSec for life. And thanks for chatting with us for a couple hours.
I love you, Ruffin.
Love you, Ruffin.
Skype next week?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome.
I'll be lurking in your bushes. You know where to look for me.
I know your spot, and I know what it smells like over there. It's not healthy.
God, that was awful.
All right,
I know your spot, and I know what it smells like?
He does in the bushes.
The bushes. Okay. That spot.
That spot, yeah, the bushes. I know which bush Shawn likes. So,
on that note,
break legs.
I love you all. Thank you, and I will. I'll talk to you all soon.
Break a leg, Ruffin.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
The pastor's basement.
Okay, so
now you,
oh yeah,
I was just gonna say, now you guys have the burden of carrying us all.
It's fine. It was like that when we were filming anyway. Oh! Burn. Okay, I'm kidding.
Radio. So, looks like the next person on here is UB Central.
Anybody want to go and check to see if John Tench is locked outside?
Hey, UB Central.
Like, you look at the window and he's just staring in.
We're keeping an eye out for him.
I could totally see T-Bone doing that.
UB Central, push talk.
UB Central. Come on.
I know that guy.
For Christ's sake!
Check your settings.
Yeah, I thought here's someone who's definitely going to know how to push to talk.
I know, right?
He just did an
Official
interview on
Ubisoft
Discord
person.
yesterday. I mean, come on.
Ubisoft can't do it.
Oh, hey, what's up, David? When'd you get it? David Therio.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, so I don't even have push to talk enabled. My mic just wasn't working.
How's your husky?
Oh, my husky is great. How is yours?
He's doing all right. He's sleeping on the floor and breathing very loudly in the room.
That's what mine does. So they're all kind of the same. But yeah, I just want to thank you guys for doing this. It's just cool to see you guys, be active with the community before and after release. So I just think I speak for everyone when I say we just really do appreciate it. As far as my question goes, was there any voice lines that were extremely difficult to perform and just needed a lot of takes? What was the one that just was extremely hard?
Oh man, there was one that as soon as you said that stood out. Unfortunately, it wasn't anything that took place in any of the cinematics. It was strictly stuff that we did separately, which I always whenever you're in a booth by yourself recording lines and you have to imagine the rest of the cast, I always find that very difficult. And one that they wanted to do when Josh was originally going to be playable at the end of the game were sounds that he would make going down the slide. For the life of me, I could not produce what they wanted. And maybe that's why, you know what? Maybe that's why Josh isn't playable, because of the damn slide.
It's all about the slide.
It's all about the slide. Every sound I wanted to do was like some kind of like sci-fi, like traveling through a, like a wormhole.
And Shawn, what about you?
I can't really remember anything being particularly difficult for me to get around. I think Josh had a tougher time. John had a tougher time than I did because he had to deal with a lot more technical terms than I did. Branch is more of a engineer and a tinkerer. So I can't really think of any examples of lines that were hard to do. If anything, my challenge though was keeping Wrench consistent in tone. Because talking to you right now, you can tell this is more my normal voice, which is lower than Wrench talks up here, and he's very fast paced, and he talks up here. And I would tend sometimes to slide back and forth, or if I was playing Wrench as being tired or whatever, he wouldn't sound like Wrench anymore. So staying consistent was probably a bit more of a challenge rather than the lines themselves. But between the director and the voice directors were all really great. It was pretty, it wasn't an impossible task to keep me there. And actually, something else I'm thinking of now that was a challenge is because I talk so fast as Wrench, I had to factor in the fact that there was going to be a voice filter added after the fact. So some words I would say quickly, had to actually over enunciate them because the filter kind of took the edges off the words a bit and made them a little hard to understand. And already I find when I play the game, there's some things sometimes, with the sound of the city and the music, Wrench will say something and I won't understand what he said, even though I recorded the line. But there's you have subtitles at the bottom, and that's fine. There were mostly technical things, I think, for me when it came to Wrench.
And just real quick, did you lose your voice since you were always, kind of screaming?
I'm pretty proud to say no, I haven't. I think what works for me is I do a lot of voice work. I do dubbing, I do voice work. I've been in a whole bunch of video games doing voice work. So, and the sessions tend to be pretty intense when you do voice work. They're 4 hours, and you'll do things like lines, but then you'll do shouted lines. You'll do something called onos, which is like bullet impacts and screaming, or barks like grenade, frag out, incoming, get down, stuff like that. And then at the very end, you'll do things like falling to your death, burning,
falling from 10 feet, falling from 20 feet, falling from 100 feet,
on fire, burning death 5 seconds, burning death 10 seconds. And then you'll have things like choking death and gas attack, so that can really. But I've been doing it for long enough. I think my voice is kind of toughened up. So on the average, I find it's pretty manageable for me, and I managed to keep my voice throughout the whole thing.
Well, thank you guys for answering my question.
Thanks for the question, man. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Great. I miss you guys.
Stream going well?
Yes. Also, we need more pictures of your husky as well.
Oh, Chester. Well, he's on my Instagram once in a while.
He's pretty damn cute.
Yep. I need to go.
He's 11 and a half maybe soon.
Man, mine turned 4.
Oh, you lucky son of a bitch.
I mean, mine's still hyper and everything, so.
Mine just turned 3.
My husky's been kind of chill since we got him. He gets these moments of, spunkiness. He's very active with dogs around him, but otherwise he's always been a chill dog.
Mine just, every time I leave the apartment, he'll just howl.
Oh.
And then we get complaints, and it's kind of sad. But, this is the only apartment that would accept him here. So, yeah, I'm just glad that they would take him.
Yeah, thank goodness I'm in a very pet-friendly city for the time being. Toronto, you can have dogs everywhere. Public transit. that's everywhere for me.
You're lucky.
Public
Yeah, I had to
transit.
pay like $1,000 to get him in, but it's worth it, and I would do it again. But yeah, thank you guys again, and
cheers.
Talk to you later.
Cheers.
Okay, so next up we have a question from Jerry. Jari? You there, Jari?
G'day, fellas.
Hey.
Hopefully this mic is working well.
It's working pretty good.
Alright, g'day. First off, I'm from Australia. A bit of a small community over here.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, my question was already asked before, so I had to improv it on the spot. If you guys recall, what would be something that was frustrating, was really pushing your limit, either while acting or performing for your role?
That's a pretty good question. It's a good question because nothing immediately jumps to mind, and nothing immediately jumps to mind because, in all honesty, the experience of shooting Watch Dogs 2 with the cast and crew was just fantastic from beginning to end. There was no drama. There was no egos. Everyone just got along great. So, I mean, I don't think I ever got frustrated. For me personally, my challenge, beyond the stuff I said about Wrench earlier vocally, was I was actually injured throughout most of the filming of Watch Dogs 2. I had a back injury, and bye, Aki. Aki's leaving. Thanks. Bye. Thanks for joining us. So I had a back injury that I was dealing with that caused me to limp, and I was in actually quite a lot of pain throughout the whole thing. With the injury I had, I should have been resting for 6 months to a year, but actually worked through the entire time I had the injury just because this was such a great opportunity for me. I did not want to let it pass me by, and I'm really glad I didn't let it pass me by. But the downside is I was injured and in quite a lot of pain through some of it. So on occasion, physically moving around the space was frustrating because I kept wishing that I had my mobility back, and I'm a very physical person. I love, being, healthy and being able to jump around and do what I want. And on occasion, like, we'd get up into these constructs, these like mocap cars that are mostly empty space with all these tubes and pipes everywhere that represents like the chassis and the wheels and the steering wheel. And there's no floor to these things. And on a few occasions when I went to sit down, my foot would go through the floor, jarring my back and my leg and just make my injury worse. So when that happened a few times, that was by Liack. That was kind of shitty and frustrating, but it was a small price to pay in the end for having the chance to work on this game, and I'd do it again.
Yeah, pain for your art, after all, eh?
You have to suffer for your art. Yeah, exactly.
There weren't too many frustrating bits for me. I think I spoke about it before, but one of the most challenging things for me was just doing the solo voice sessions in TeamSpeak, having to talk to the entire DeadSet crew and imagine what their voices would sound like, what their responses would be. Is this gonna make sense if I give it this direction, or if I throw the line this way and that way? At that point, you just kind of have to let go of the control that you get when you're in the volume, and just completely 100% trust in the director, whoever's directing the session, that given session. So that more than frustrating was just the challenge for me of just learning how to deal with that. But other than that, frustrating, nothing really. There was nothing at all frustrating about any of this, because it was just such a dream come true and a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I think all of us kind of knew that. None of us really took it for granted. Yeah.
Great questions. I love hearing this inside stuff from you guys. We learn so much more about the characters and your guys' experience. So thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the questions.
Next up, Escape Trace.
Hello.
Hi.
Does it work? Oh, I'm spamming V in the chat as I say this. That's great. Yeah, push to talk. It's great. But thanks for having me on for this thing. That's all cool. But my question being, and it was mostly for Ruffin, so it's a shame he's gone. But hopefully you guys can still answer it for me. Thanks for the voice compliment, Party Bacon. Is there any stories with the dancing animations and how Ruffin in the background he kind of just he does the little beatboxing bits? Because I'm the whitest guy going, so I can't dance to save my life. But is there any cool stories with any dancing animations? And the one where if you put on Marcus's suit, he does the Carlton dance from Fresh Prince. Is it not unusual to feel loved by anyone?
Yeah, when they released that, I loved it. Absolutely.
Honestly, I saw the trailer for it and I was like, I need this in my life.
No, a lot of that stuff though is on the developers end though.
Oh right.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of I don't know. I mean, I think Shawn, you may have done some of the mocap for the NPCs and stuff like that. I don't know if you did any dancing, but as far as I know, the group itself wasn't really any of that. We just danced when we wanted to, but in terms of in the game, I don't think so.
Well, I seem to remember Ruffin talking about recording dancing animations.
Did he?
Oh yeah, and I remember seeing him do the Carlton for us, and I remember being pretty amused by how accurately he was pulling it off.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Funny story. I don't know where it is in the game, but at one point, actually, I think it's that scene I talked about where I'm like, "Hey, Marcus, I want to show you something on my laptop." That whole homoerotic scene. At the end of that scene, if you come back to Wrench and talk to him, he puts his laptop down, he gets up, and he starts grooving. He starts dancing around.
What?
He does. And I remember looking at that and saying, that's not me, because I never recorded that. So they must have wanted to add that at a later stage, and I must have been busy or unavailable or something, and they probably got some other actor to come and bust a move. I mean, it's not bad, but it's funny how you look at someone else's work doing something you've done for a while, and you can tell it's not you. Just like
in the garage scene, I knew as soon as I saw Josh's idol. Idol, by the way, is the term for a loop that they can use again and again to make it look like the character's moving continuously. So they record a few seconds of just movement, of breathing, of how you shuffle your feet or just whatever, and they can put that in a loop. And I could tell looking at Josh inside of Wrench's garage, I'm like, I didn't do that, but that looks like Shawn's impression.
Still pretty close though.
No, it was great. I knew your movement from spending so much time with you.
Well, we had a day where they were doing pickups and little additional things for the game, and they weren't gonna fly Jonathan in from Toronto and Ruffin in from New York and Jonathan from Toronto, John Tench from Toronto, and everyone. So they just said, you're here today. Can you, do their idols? And I had worked for so many months with the cast, and I'm pretty good at doing impersonations and copying people's movements to begin with because I do a lot of mocap, and other physical based acting. So it was within my wheelhouse. I know it's not perfect, but the actors themselves could tell it wasn't their work. But beyond that, I'm not sure it was very apparent to anyone.
So since people are asking, Shawn, can you speak French? Like something?
Certainement.
Seduce us.
Je viens du Québec, puis au Québec on parle français, fait que j'ai un français quand même assez bon. Je suis bilingue en fait. Ma mère est québécoise, puis mon père il parle anglais, fait que je peux parler québécois. Je peux même faire des accents, tu sais. Je peux parler un peu plus
l'accent parisien, un petit
peu plus foncé, quoi. Je peux parler comme ça, il y a pas de trouble, non. Ça me dérange pas, c'est nickel, quoi.
Oui, Michael,
je me sens un peu prétentieux de parler
bagage à mon appartement.
Et je peux aussi, tu sais, je peux parler en québécois, tu sais, pas mal plus joual aussi, là, tu sais, de même, là.
Joual, ouais.
C'est un peu moins beau, là, mais ça marche, tu sais.
Okay, now English.
No problem.
or you can speak that way too.
Yeah, that's true. I could talk English like I have a French accent because the people here who talk English but who learn it as a second language, they talk like this. I mean, it's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's still.
In some cases, oui, but
it's in the ballpark, comme qu'on dit.
In that ballpark, ouais.
But can you guys say what you just said in French in English?
Oh, sure. I was saying that I speak French. I'm bilingual. My mom is French Canadian. My dad is Anglophone, and even though I speak, I've got very little English accent when I speak French. I can also do dialects in French, like a more European or Parisian French, and then I did a more I don't know how to say in English, joual, like a.
It's just a regional
dialect from here as well, which is very almost like Southern for the States or Cockney for England, like that kind of thing, but for French here. So kind of like hillbilly French. No offense meant to anyone, of course.
Okay, so the next one is Tiger Claw. Are you there? Tiger?
Tiger attack, Tiger!
Tiger
attack!
Tiger uppercut!
Hi.
What's up, Tiger?
Nope. Still mute. You're still muted there.
We should name this the Watch Dogs 2 first year anniversary push to talk Discord event.
Oh, there we go. He's showing us unmuted now. You there?
See, I'm trying to talk.
He's getting there. He's learning.
If you're on desktop, then there's a key that you've configured to push to talk. You need to press that key and hold it down while you talk. If you're on mobile, you need to press the button. You need to keep pressing that button.
Now?
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, Tiger.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, so my question is there any location in the game or in real life San Francisco that you guys, that's your favorite?
That's a good question. Well, I've never been to San Francisco. I know the developers went down there, spent quite a while getting to know the city so they could be as faithful as possible. And people I know who have been to or live in San Francisco, including fans, have all told me that it's a pretty faithful rendition. This might be a bit peculiar, but actually one of my favorite places in the game was the gaming shop that's just outside the DedSec headquarters, the main one. I just really like the atmosphere they created there, little snippets of conversation that could be overheard. I'm a big gamer, like tabletop gamer and all that stuff, so I can relate. I've been to those places before. My friend used to own a gaming shop that I used to hang out with at all the time, so it wasn't in San Francisco, but it was still a nice place. I thought it felt very welcoming, I guess. Yeah, so I guess that'd be my little spur of the moment pick.
I really like exploring Silicon Valley. I just like the orderliness of it and the kind of scarcity of stuff in the way, which is great when you're riding a bike. I like going to the beaches, taking walks on the beach in game San Francisco, hopping on the dirt bikes there and just jumping in the dunes in the water, and trying to jump off my bike midair.
Well, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so next one is Diafix.
See you, Escape Trace. Thanks for being part of the chat.
Ciao.
I fix your one. Push dock. Remember
Nathan.
Okay. So next up, we should have Diafix.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Awesome. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
A little bug, but pretty good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Just had to step out real quick. So my question was, if your characters didn't become hackers, what do you think their profession would be?
Ooh, that's a tough one, man.
Also, we're getting good questions. I gotta say, we're getting really good questions today.
I mean, a lot of Josh's future was kind of carved out for him as a result of the way CTOS labeled him, which greatly reduces opportunity in pretty much any field that requires a certain level of not having that kind of thing on your record, which is most jobs. I don't know if there would have been anything else for Josh. I mean, he might have built little machines. I can imagine him having these like toy RC cars or these little quadcopters, developing that kind of technology.
A pretty hip eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for Wrench, I don't know. I think if Wrench wasn't offered himself the opportunities he had to become who he became, if he didn't have that in him, I think it's possible he could have fallen into some kind of mundane, existence that would have made him just miserable, and then he probably would have fallen into like alcoholism or drug abuse, or who knows. Because I think Wrench really does feel fulfilled doing what he does. I think he loves the power that it makes him feel that he's making a change and a difference in society, not only by striking against the institutions that he thinks are oppressing people, and all that stuff, but also there's a primal, visceral joy, or can be, rather, to a certain level of violence. I'm not endorsing violence by saying this. I'm just saying, violence is inherent to all of us as animals, as people.
We're just seeing it as people play video games, so understandable.
Exactly, and video games are a power fantasy. They're an escape mechanism, right? I mean, people play games for different reasons, but I personally play a lot of violent video games because I love the escapism and the release of that, because there's no place in actual society for that, right? But if you had that power in actual society and could still escape the repercussions of that kind of violence, and if you could justify to yourself that what you're doing is a good thing, then I can see how that would be very intoxicating. So I think Wrench is really doing what he loves to do, and if you weren't able to do that, it'd probably just be some lesser form of it, working on the black market, or maybe joining some radical organization and lending his engineering skills, because Wrench is a pretty smart guy, so I think he'd definitely do something if he had the freedom or the option to, that took advantage of his intelligence.
Yeah, retail doesn't seem to fit him too well.
No, it doesn't.
Would get a lot of customer complaints.
But I've had like some retail jobs and like more, public service jobs, and I've worked in a factory assembly line when I was younger, and I couldn't stand it. Like I just could not stand it. I'm an artistic, creative person. I need to express myself. So for me, I had to pursue the things that would make me happy. So I think, not just for Wrench or Josh, but anyone who doesn't get to do what they think they're meant to do, or what gives them joy, it can be tough, because society doesn't always allow us to do that.
Oh, of course. No, that totally makes sense.
Okay, so we have a question from Benkurda1. Are you there?
Yes, I am. So
how's it going?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Just start off from Ohio, near a central area. Just to real quickly, I know it's like one of the most insignificant lines, but when Wrench mentioned like Dublin, Ohio, I was like blown out of the water with that, just because it's like half an hour away from my house. And it was
That's
like,
awesome.
Geez, the one place I never expected anyone to mention in a video game. But
isn't that great?
Yeah,
I love when that stuff happens.
And I was wondering how much time you guys actually spent playing the game.
I can tell you right now. Crack open Steam.
Well, I don't want to go into the living room and turn on my PS4, but I don't Watch Dogs 2 actually logs your hours. But I mean, I spent enough time to finish it, do all the side quests, and go trophy hunting. I didn't 100% it, and I haven't played the DLC, not because I don't want to, but so many other games I wanted to play kind of popped up, and I tend to move from game to game.
Oh wait, it's Uplay, not Steam. What am I saying?
Yeah,
to play what I can.
I kind of run into that issue because unfortunately, it's kind of a luxury and also a hindrance of having 580 plus games on Steam.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah. I can play anything at any time, but I have so much that I don't want to play any of them.
Right, and I'm a completionist. When I start something, I want to finish it. I want to do the whole thing. I can't be playing 4 games at the same time. So that's actually why I stay away from giant games like Fallout 4 or
oh, yeah, the what-ifs are nuts driving.
Because, man, I just, that's all I would do. Oh, and as for the Ohio thing, two of the writers were American. Well, they still are American who live here. So it's possible they're from near there, or at least were aware of that place, or it had some significance to them, and they mentioned it in the game.
Yeah, well, that's certainly a possibility. The Columbus area is quite a rising population, so it wouldn't surprise me. It was just like all out of the blue. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I get you, man. And, anytime I'm watching a movie or a TV show and someone mentions Montreal, I'm like, yes, represent.
Oh, Shawn, Bunny offered to buy you PlayerUnknown's Battleground for Christmas.
Does that exist on PS4?
Oh, it does it? Maybe.
It does not. It's going to have console
coming soon, though, isn't
it? Xbox.
I don't really game on PC, unfortunately.
It's PC with console exclusivity on Xbox for the time being in December.
But I would play the shit out of that if it came out to PS4.
I wouldn't.
It's a wonderfully frustrating game.
Well, thanks for taking my question.
Hey, no worries. Nice chatting with you.
Hope you have a nice day.
Come on by, you too. Fortnite, that's the other one I heard about, yeah. My only gripe with PUBG is, like, you spend a minute in this kind of lobby waiting room for the 100 people to connect, and then you start the game in a plane that's flying over this gigantic continent, and you basically parachute out to land where you choose. And the amount of time between loading into the lobby until you hit the ground to start collecting guns to play the game, if you die within the first 5 minutes, you got to go through that again.
Oh, I know, but it's part of the thrill, isn't it? You don't want to die. You don't want to just throw your life away. I like that.
No, clearly, but what happens is if you want to play the game aggressively and jump in an area where there's a lot of people, you do it at your own risk, but the waiting time to start another one, oh, goodness gracious me.
I get it.
It is a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, I wish they had a mode like that in the Watch Dogs world.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Play in San Francisco or even Chicago. That would be great.
I actually just read about I think it's in its beta phase, but a game called the Darwin Project, I think, which is basically like PUBG, but you're dropped in with, like, I think a spear, a bow, a few arrows, and you got to do like resource management. And it's only 10 players, and the more resources you use, the more of a trace you leave for other players to track you and hunt you down. So
that sounds
see you,
really
Bacon. Bye, Party Bacon. Thanks for being part of the chat.
Yeah, I would love a PUBG round with like just crossbows.
Yeah, so that sounds like it might be more more your speed. we'll see when it comes out.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. What you doing for dinner?
Were you asking me that?
Yeah.
I don't quite know, actually.
Okay, so we're conscious of time at the moment, but we've still got a few more questions. We'll see if we can squeeze as many people in as we possibly can. So
Okay,
we've got
we'll
a
go
question
into lightning
from,
round mode, John. Okay, we'll keep our answers succinct. And by we, I mean me, because I'm a motor mouth.
Yeah, unless you guys want to stay for a while longer.
So we've got a question from Dated Rhyme 713. Are you there, Dated Rhyme?
Yeah, I am.
What's up, man?
Hello.
So my question really was for John and for Shawn, but I guess it's all left to you, Shawn. The really iconic scene when like T-Bone and Wrench first meet for the first time, and it's kind of that bit of a tense moment. Was that scripted, or was that just generally it was an on-the-fly thing and somebody thought it'd be a cool idea?
It was scripted. What we worked on, John and I, specifically, was all the physical blocking of the scene, the movement. John is a really great person to work with because he loves to play and to work and to experiment and to try things. In between every take, he wants to try something new, and he always keeps you on your feet as an actor. So the script supported our tension pretty well, but we wanted to build more of it. So to do that, we had, I don't know how much of it you remember, but I walk in, he's holding one of my pipe bombs. I go right up to him, I snatch the pipe bomb away. Then Wrench kind of goes and stands behind him a little too close, a little menacingly, like trying to be imposing. Then there's the whole thing with the hat and the mask. We really worked on the timing of that, kind of, assessing each other. And then that wonderful moment where we're like, okay, we're good. And then we're best buds almost. And I go get him a beer, And that's something John was always throwing in, was getting himself a beer. He liked to have T-Bone drink. So it was something we could kind of play with throughout the shoot.
All right, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Just before I get cut off, I just want to thank you, Shawn, so much for the support in the community. From the first video seeing the wrench and building the first wrench mask in October to where I am now with a fully functioning mask, it's just been... I don't think I would have been able to do it with the support behind you and the rest of the community for Watch Dogs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man, for being such a fan. I mean, you guys really make this worthwhile, and it's really the least I can do is to be involved. And, I'm a gamer, and I love the game, and I love this community, so it's my pleasure.
Okay, I'm done, guys.
Hey, man, thanks for coming by.
Cheers.
Okay, so we had a question from someone who sadly can't be here, to the Hounds, and they've asked, great question, I think, so it's worth asking. If you were allowed to create your own DedSec crew member mission, what kind of thing would it be?
Ooh.
Good questions just keep on coming.
Man, custom mission.
And that's hard to answer because I found the game really covered a wide spectrum of situations and types. And there were a lot of real-world parodies. Actually, you know what I'd do? I would have a mission, if it was today, where you have to, where this really, I won't name any names, but this very, unfit president gets elected to power, and you have to hack into his personal files to get his tax returns or something, or
from the Norwegians.
From the Norwegians, there we go. And you kind of expose some fraudulent dealings, or something like that. Kind of hashtag dump Trump. I don't want to get all political on here, and but it's such a relevant thing today. So much secrecy and double dealing, and I'm a big believer in the truth. So I think that'd be a very interesting angle to tackle. Watchdog was on the right path to doing that, I think.
Yeah. Impeach President Thruss.
Yeah, exactly. Impeach Thruss.
Thruss got a bust.
In Thruss we trust.
Wrench for president. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I mean, the most interesting part for me of games I play, besides the mechanics, is always the story. Story first and foremost. And given that Watch Dogs 2 is a game type that allows you to play things in different orders, it makes it difficult to develop certain types of character connections and character developments. So what I would love to see are any missions that dig deeper into the history of any of the characters, really. Marcus, I mean, we get a little bit of Wrench with the waitress, which is nice, the nice touch. I want to see more about Satara. I want to see more about Ruffin and Marcus. I want to see more about Horatio. I want to attach myself deeper to these characters and go further with them.
What, you don't want to know more about Wrench? I'm right here, John. I'm right here.
No, yours is definitely. I mean, the interesting thing about Wrench, and I'm not saying this to toot your horn, but just anyone who's a comedian in life definitely understands what it's like to go through pain, because they mask their pain with joy, and they create joy for others so they don't have to feel that pain. And I think, that's one of Wrench's great strengths is his sensitivity. So definitely has an interesting backstory there.
Thanks, man. And there's a question here that says, does the waitress even have a name? She does, actually. I just can't remember it right now.
Naomi.
Of course, yes. Lumi would know that. Yes, Naomi, that's her name. She was played by the wonderful actress Lydia Zadell.
I want some Naomi DLC.
Now that the questions are over, we can pick a few questions from the chat if some people want to ask something else before this is all done.
Sure.
Kind of want to see Josh lead his own little group.
Yeah, for this, if you see any question that jumps out to you that you guys don't
Hey, Nathan, no, Wrench cannot speak Czech, unfortunately. Wrench's sexuality. That's something I'd like to talk about briefly, because I do get asked that a lot. Wrench gets shipped all the time with all sorts of people. I've seen him shipped mostly with Marcus, of course, which makes the most sense given their relationship. But I've seen it with Josh. I've seen it with T-Bone. I've seen it with other characters from other franchises. What I like with Wrench in the context of Watch Dogs 2 is they never make a decision as to his sexuality, because ultimately I don't think it matters. And I think it doesn't matter because one of the things I love about pop culture is that once something is created and it's out there, it kind of belongs to the people after that, right? I'm not saying the creative, the people who came up with it don't have intellectual rights to it, but I'm saying, once you create the character of Chewbacca, then people can cosplay Chewbacca and write fan fiction about Chewbacca and, just have a great time and do what they want with them. And I think if people want to interpret Wrench's sexuality in a way that makes them happy, whether it's shipping him with someone or identifying with him, then I think that's fine. So I've never actually wanted to make an actual decision about his sexuality because I don't want to pigeonhole him and take that away from people in a sense.
So there have been quite a few questions. There's one I thought was quite good from Crescent Lightning, asked how much of the scenes are ad-libbed?
I don't think it's so much how much of the scenes are, how many of the scenes are ad-libbed. It's more of a question of what percentage of the scenes are ad-libbed. And I'd say it goes anywhere from 0 to maybe 30% or so, I'd say. One of the really nice things about working on Watch Dogs 2 was that the writers really trusted us to bring our own sensibilities and personalities into our characters so that the script from the get-go we were always told that it was a guideline at best, and that we were to take it as a stepping stone to do our own thing. So whenever I wanted to insert something, by IDW, anytime I wanted to do, insert an idea or try something, we wouldn't talk about it, we'd just do it. And then when I'd get a big reaction from the cast, from the crew, I know that I'd done something that connected and that was good. And, then the director would come over and go, I love that. Let's keep that. Let's go again. So our freedom to improvise kind of colored everything we did. The team speak, the non-mocap, non-cinematic scenes we did were a bit more strict. And the reason for that is that we didn't get to do those as a group. We did them individually often. So they wanted to stick to the script to make sure everything matched up. If I change and improvise the line, Sitaro's answer, for example, or Josh's answer would have to be in relation to that. And if I change it from the script and she's not around when I do it, then that became difficult. So, apart from that, though, any cinematic scenes, we were just free to kind of do what we wanted. And everyone was very comfortable improvising. So that's where a lot of that magic comes from.
Yeah, for me, there was the improv moments were little bits here and there, kind of mannerisms that would happen at the beginning or the end of any given scene. Like I described one before between Marcus and Josh in the scene. I don't think it ever made it in the game, but we're on a rooftop somewhere doing something, and I start picking up on Marcus's lingo, and that was completely ad-libbed, but we thought it was cute, and everyone liked it. So they kind of do allow you to, and I really think it's part of the actor's job is to, they give you a character, you get what's on the page, but at the end of the day, you're hired because you can bring something to life in a way that you can't just do with words on a page. And you give it a voice, you give it a point of view, and you make choices. And hopefully if they cast well, they can just leave you to that and kind of let you guys play and discover as you go.
That's awesome. I have a quick question. Is there any big projects you guys have coming up, acting-wise, that you want to talk about that we should look out for?
Big? I don't know. Big. Watch Dogs 2 is the biggest thing I have ever been a part of, and who knows? But it may be the biggest thing I'll ever be a part of. Coming up, I've had small roles on a new TV show that's coming out in Canada. I can't really say much about it. Next year, I have a principal role in one episode, and I play a detective. And then later on this month and the beginning of December, I'll be going back to Montreal to shoot for a project called the Hummingbird Project, and I'll be working opposite Jesse Eisenberg and Alexander Skarsgård.
Nice!
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. And
good job, buddy.
Thank you. Other than that, nothing. Just kind of grinding. Right now, the lady and I are trying to figure out if we want to stay in Toronto, go back to Montreal, do the LA thing. We're kind of in that zone. But that's about it for me right now.
I'm going to cast a vote for you coming to Montreal. I may be biased, however.
No, I would love to.
For my part, kind of like Jonathan, nothing major coming up. I did just finish recording voice work for, I gotta be careful what I say here, a new character in a video game that's a pretty popular franchise. I voice a character that'll be coming out in a while. It's an awesome game, though.
And you can't say the company, huh?
I can't say the company. I can't say the game. It hasn't been announced.
Watch Dogs 3 confirmed.
I will. Half-Life 3 confirmed. What? That'd be amazing. No, so when it does get announced, I'll spread it on Twitter and all that, and
awesome.
You guys can get excited too. And apart from that, I'm actually working on a personal project that I also can't talk much about, but it is another. I don't know how many people know this about me, but
no, you're not. Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing it. If you think if it's what you think,
that's what we talked about.
But I don't know how many people know this about me in terms of people who follow me, but I did a fan film about 3 years ago about the Punisher called The Punisher No Mercy that I wrote, co-directed, co-wrote, produced, star in. It was just this whole like vehicle I did, which was awesome. Anyway, and that was a very fun experience, and I'm really glad I did it. So I'm making another fan film. I can't say what it's about, but I'm working with some really awesome people. It's a terrific idea. I can say that. We're going to be working on it over the winter, and hopefully next year I'll be able to make some kind of announcement.
Are you all cast and crewed?
I'm sorry?
Are you all cast and crewed?
Not fully, no.
Good.
So if you want to talk, we can talk.
Good answer.
But yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm up to, and there you go.
There's another question from the chat. Is from Dudos.
Oh, and EpicStreamMan just posted the link to my film. Amazing. Thank you, dude. Awesome. You guys check it out. It's an 18-minute movie. It's pretty cool.
With
It's really good. So Dudos asked, what do you guys think that happened to Wrench in the past that made him the way he is?
Okay, so as Jonathan was saying, we're given these scripts, and then we're given the freedom to kind of move off the scripts. So I wasn't given a comprehensive background to Wrench and his background, his name, his history. But my reasoning, the story I made for him, was that from an early age he was a bit of a troublemaker and a bit of a shit disturber. And at one point he got into trouble with the law badly, and he resisted arrest, and he got knocked around by the cops pretty badly, badly enough that they wrenched his back and like did some damage to his spine in the struggle. And that kind of left him with a limp, and it's, to me, one of the reasons why he's called Wrench. And that's part of his deep mistrust and dislike for the cops and for the authority and for law comes from that event, because it left him kind of scarred, and he didn't get the support he could have used. That's just one possible story, I think his appearance as well, he didn't trust people to begin with because they'd make fun of him because of his appearance and all that. So Wrench, the persona of Wrench is kind of his way of dealing with all those things. And also, let's face it, hide from his past and all that. Because, Wrench, for all his goodwill, isn't really facing up to his reality all that honestly, I think. And yes, Fallen Angel, Wrench does need more love and cuddles. A heap more love and cuddles. Yeah, send Wrench some love. I'm sure he could use some.
It's an interesting question. Do you have Steam? So, do you play Watch Dogs much? Do you play Watch Dogs 2 much?
Lately, not a lot. I played it like crazy, and it was basically my only game for quite a few months. But for those who may know me, it's very much my kind of game, and I played it through, and then, like Shawn, I'm a completionist. But then shortly, right before, I think I got somewhere in the 80% or 90% of finishing the game, and then Zelda dropped.
Yeah,
and
that's what happened to me too.
Yeah, and then Zelda kind of took over, both my and my fiance's life for, a long time. But no, I always go back and revisit games, and Watch Dogs 2 is one I'm going to be playing again pretty soon. Actually, I'm pretty much done another game I was playing, so that's next to revisit.
As for me, I'm not on Steam. I don't game on my PC. I'm only on PS4. I don't play Watch Dogs 2 much anymore. Once I completed the game, the side missions, and got all the trophies I could without, getting all of them, because that would have been some work. I moved on to another game, and once I put a game aside, I tend to not go back to it. Yeah. But it was a great game, and I enjoyed playing it.
So what do you think the chances are of some of these guys being playing Watch Dogs 2 online and ending up playing against you invading their game?
It's possible. I think I play as my. I don't even know what my Uplay thing is, but you'll know it's me. I think because I think I use my name.
You just shout down the mic. You just got Dubskied or something.
I found the invasion and hacking missions a little frustrating. They kind of stress me out because they kind of catch me unawares. So I think I switched those off after a while. So I didn't do a whole lot of online.
Yeah, same with me until I started kicking ass at them.
I did do a few co-op missions with some friends of mine here and there. But then I moved on to other games. I think I started playing Ghost Recon at that time, and then that kind of took over my attention. Someone asked me what I play because I said I play tabletop. I play a system called GURPS, GURPS. It's a bit of an old system, but it's pretty cool.
Well, Galactic Savage just asked to Shawn if you're able to do the same level hacking as your character in the game without repercussions. What would you use that kind of power for?
You can refer to my earlier answer about someone's tax returns.
Thrust.
Repercussion free? My God, if there is such a thing. I would, try to spread truth, expose corruption. I believe in equality and fairness, and I think there's just too much greed and powerful people in the world taking advantage of that greed. So yeah, I'd probably try to, probably fight the same fight that DedSec fights, to be honest.
I don't know if I would like this question because it's going to make me like a sociopath. No, I mean, I don't know. Like the truth of it, like what I would want to do and what I would actually do are probably two completely different things. And it depends on my mood. I mean, I think if I was a freedom fighter, the thing is, you're asking a person who's not involved in that kind of world. So it's like saying to a non-politician to become a major influencer of people. I don't know if I could handle that kind of responsibility. And I think probably for a good reason. It's not my calling. But I would probably, I don't know. The fun part of it would be, throw myself a couple extra $100,000 stocks in my Tesla. And I don't know. I have no idea. What can you do? What are the limitations? I need parameters here. This isn't like a magical genie lamp that 3 wishes come true. No limits. No limits. Well, I would expose all the evil of the world for who they are. Let the world deal with it. And
erase student debt. I like that one.
Erase student debt. Yes, absolutely. Huge number 1.
I'd bring Fox News down, too.
So, if no one else minds, I actually do have a question that's been burning a hole in the back of my mind for the last couple of minutes.
Ask it.
So, y'all may remember when we had the Shuffler mystery on here not too long ago. John and Shawn, what are your thoughts on the Shuffler mystery and how we went about it and how the whole thing played out?
Can you say that again? The what?
The Shuffler mystery.
I'm a bit embarrassed to say that I've heard the term shuffler all over Watch Dogs 2 right when it was big, but I actually have no idea what that is.
What is the Shuffler mystery?
Oh my god.
How much time do you have?
You guys.
Not a lot, but what is it? Just in a nutshell.
It was like literally 4 months of my life were centered around the shuffler thing. And it was why I became a mod here, because of the shuffler thing.
What is it?
It was an in-the-game mystery that we all had to work together to solve.
It's a secret side quest that doesn't track down on your game. You don't have it in your phone, like in the app. And it's like kind of spooky. It's about a creature that takes people to another dimension.
It basically
and
just involves
Marcus is going
following
after
Easter
it.
eggs.
Where do you find this mission?
Well, after you meet T-Bone, you get to see like 4 graffiti, like around the map.
That sounds amazing.
And when you take a picture of them, it plays a creepy audio, and the characters are like, "Oh my god, those people are missing," and stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and play some more Watch Dogs 2 now.
Yeah, and it took like months for us to get it solved. Like, it was so cool.
So Jonathan and I can just skip all the work and just use the benefit of all the work you guys did, right?
Sure.
Well, we have like a guide now, but figuring it out on your own is like the best thing.
I love Easter egg missions.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It's like when you come across an episode of Friends you've never seen.
Not the example I would have used.
Like, we got like 300 people back then
Thanks, Vanessa.
joining just because of it. Yeah.
I think we were on like IGN or Kotaku or something because we were like
Yeah.
solving this mystery.
It was Kotaku.
Okay, cool, because I heard a lot of talk about it. I just didn't know the context.
Well, you should have heard, because on the Tumblr, it was like Wrench was taking over the Tumblr, like Cetera's Tumblr, and posting stuff about the shuffler.
That's so interesting. I really
Awesome.
want to.
And I said thanks to Vanade for posting, telling me that it's on the Discord channel, the shuffler stuff.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Yeah, I was interested to know how much you guys really knew about that, because I'm sure you recorded the lines and stuff for it, but you might not have had all the context behind it.
Oh yeah, I certainly don't remember all the stuff we recorded.
Oh yeah, I'm always hearing stuff that apparently I said that I had no clue or context, and that's something I find is fans sometimes expect us to remember. I guess. Like,
Yeah, I mean anything in the cinematics for sure.
and it's not always the case, unfortunately.
Yeah, not for TeamSpeak. Anything in the cinematics that we were in studio for, I definitely remember. And there's certain moments in TeamSpeak I remember, but I mean when you're going through 50, 60 pages of lines in a session, you don't really.
Oh yeah, there's so much dialogue.
I think you guys will find the mission really interesting. It's definitely something fun to go back to. So check out our guide. If you get really stuck, even UB Central did a great video.
That's so cool. I really want to see that now.
And it does give you something really cool at the end if you get it. So
nice.
It's worth it. I think we're about ready to wrap up here. I don't want to hold you guys longer than you need to be, because I really appreciate your guys' time.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh yeah, so Steven Spielberg's calling me. I gotta go now.
We could do another question or two if there's any left, and if not, I think we could call it a day or a night for some of you.
What's that, Charlie? Stay on? You need me on set?
That would be awesome.
I have nothing that exciting. I just have to, walk my dog.
Yeah, I should do that too, actually.
Oh, that is exciting because she's the best.
Heidi.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys again, and if there's anything you wanted to say to the fans before you go, or anything you want to get off your chest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've said it time and time again, we're nothing without our fans, but just to bring this down to earth for a second, at the end of the day, we are people on this crazy adventure called life. We get to meet each other, we get to talk, we get to share in things. We just happen to be these actors who got involved in this game, and we get to be part of your community. So thank you guys for embracing us and letting us take part of it, because it is, as we know, jobs come and go, but the people that you meet in life are what make it worthwhile. So thank you all for that.
That's awesome, man. This I can't even talk. When you do a job as an actor, it's always fleeting, right? You work with people for a short amount of time. It could be a day, it could be several days, it could be weeks, but it's never permanent. It's not like having a job you can be at for 10, 20 years. Watch Dogs for me is the closest I ever had to having a regular job with a work family I could see every day, every week, every month. Knowing John would be there, Ruffin and Tassia and everyone. It was just so rewarding to not only work on a game that was fun and challenging, but to work with people that I got along with. Like, it was never a chore. I never woke up and had to come into work and think of it as work. Like, it was never a job for me. And then to experience all of that And then after the game comes out, to have this massive outpouring of support and fan art and artistry, and it's just to see how people were reached by our work, to see all the people contacting John about Josh and Asperger's and being on the spectrum and being represented, and the diversity we had, like to see the impact we made on people, and to see how people were so willing to take their time and their energy to reach out to us, and like Jonathan, to bring us into your world as we brought you into ours. To me, there's literally no greater reward. I mean, the money I got paid for making the game is, it's fleeting. It's gone. It's in my mortgage and in food I buy, but the friends I've made through this game over social media, at Comic-Cons, on Twitter, chats like these, they're the best. They're the greatest reward, and they're permanent, in a sense. So I think that's really what I want to say about this is I'm taking away as much from this as you guys are, and I think that's awesome. So thank you, all of you, for making this possible. And on a more, self-promotional side, Jonathan, you should probably give your Twitter handle and all that so they can follow you. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's just Shawn Baichoo, one word. And, give me a follow on Twitter. I'm not on Instagram, but I'm pretty good at responding to people on Twitter as well. So,
I'll definitely, I'm on Twitter. I try to stay active and let everybody know what I'm up to, what I'm thinking of any given day, what my favorite fragrance is, what kind of food I'm interested in eating. You can follow me at Jonathan Dubsky. And, just keep in touch. Let me know what's going on in your world. We got this life. We're living together. So let's share it.
And if your Twitter handle, if you add me on Twitter and your Twitter handle is different than who you've been on this, let me know so I'll know who I spoke to. Bunny or Game and Tears or Fallen Angel or any of you people, Rapid Raygun, all you peeps. Just let me know who you are so I can, make the connection.
Well, I just want to say you guys are welcome back anytime, if not to voice chat, of course. Just come into your text, talk with the people. I'm sure they would love it. We're here 27 hours a day, something like that.
Sounds awesome. Great community, so I just might come back, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having us.
Hi, we love it. We love you guys, and thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thanks everyone for coming by and spending so much time with us.
Thanks again, everyone.
All right, you guys, we love you. We will see you all later. And for the rest of you people, we will keep the main stage open to chat for probably the rest of the night mostly. But probably for voice, head on over to the .connects party room for free music. Request from our lovely DJ Default. So check that out.
All right, peeps. So have a good day, evening, night, morning, whatever time it is where you are in your part of the world. And maybe I'll see some of you on Twitter and or back here at some point.
Same here, guys. Lovely chatting with you guys. Thank you for coming by. And be nice to each other.
All right. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.